So hello and very good morning to all of you. Once again we are there to discuss the Hindu prelims fact as well as the prelims facts of Indian Express on some other newspapers as well. So we are going to start with your first news. The first news is talking about the no landless farmers in National Farmers Database. So first and foremost thing is that why there are so many news related to the farmers, right? So first thing that the present government, that is Modi government, has promised earlier that they wanted to double the incomes of farmers. That's why we have seen in the recent days there are so many news related to the farmers and the welfare of the farmers. Now, what is this news? Now, let's come through this news that no landless farmers in National Farmer Database. So, what do you mean by landless farmers? See, farmers, if we talk about farmers are those persons who are attached or who are associated with agricultural activity, right? So first is the owner of the land. Suppose someone owns a land and he cultivate in his own land. So that is the landlord of that particular land, landlord farm, right? Landless farmers are the children who work on that land, right? So first thing is that who need more government assistance, right? The person who do not hold something. But what the report is pointing is that government has made policy for the person who has owned his own land, not for the landless farmer. Now this question can be asked in your mains also. So for that reason you need to know all the facts regarding that, right? So that you can quote these things in your mains answer, and these things can be asked in the prelims as well. Now, what is no landless farmers in National Farmer Database? So first of all, what about the National Farmer Database, right? So recently what has happened, that central government new farmers database, the central government has announced a new farmer database. In this new farmer database, this database will link to digitalized land records, right? Each and every land record will be digitalized with the name of the farmer. Matlab, which farmer is owning which land, right? What is his total strength, right, of that particular land? So these things will be digitalized form, right? And it will be associated with which ministry? With the collaboration of Ministry of Electronics and Information and Technology, that is in short form what we call this MeitY, right? Why these things is happening? What is the objective behind this scheme? So government can make use, how government will use? Government will use this database for targeted service delivery, right? So earlier I have also told you, when you will have to read any scheme, right? Any scheme, if you want to read any scheme, always try to focus who is going to be the beneficiary, number one. What is the objective behind that particular scheme, and which ministry is doing or which ministry is supervising the whole scheme. First thing, who is the beneficiary? The person who is owning the land, matlab land owned farmer. Second thing, which ministry? So with the collaboration of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. And what is the objective? So that all the land record database can be made, right? And basically it is going to support the AgriStack, which has earlier announced by the Government of India, initiative that was earlier announced by the Government of India, that is AgriStack. Now come to the next point. What is AgriStack now? What is AgriStack? Basically AgriStack is a collection. AgriStack is a collection. Collection of what? Collection of technologies and digital database, right? AgriStack is what? AgriStack is technological and digital databases collection, right? What is the objective of AgriStack? The objective is to focus on farmers and the agricultural sector, both. If we talk about the agriculture sector, that means agriculture sector in a holistic way, that means fisheries and other sector which is associated with the agriculture, that will also be covered under AgriStack, right? AgriStack will create a unified platform. Please try to focus on this keyword, that is unified platform. For the again the beneficiary is farmer, what will this unified platform will do? It will provide end-to-end service across agriculture food value chain, right? And again, any scheme is not created in vacuum. Each and every scheme is some part of some umbrella scheme. Again, the umbrella scheme is Digital India, right? Earlier in, I guess 2014 or 2013, we have heard about this news, Digital India. Now this is again a part of Digital India scheme, where we want to unify the data of the farmers in digitalized manner, right? Now, each farmer means not landless, only the person who owned land. Each farmer will have a unique digital identification number, right? And this will link to the national ID Aadhaar, right? It will link to the Aadhaar, right? Now, what is the benefits behind it? First, some problems such as inadequate access to credit, right? Inadequate access to credit, pest infestation, crop pests can be addressed by use of digital technologies. And second important thing, it will increase innovation and investment toward the agriculture sector, right? So it is a news. This question can be asked in your mains as well as in prelims, right? So we have covered this scheme. Now second, one important news, Dholavira. You must have heard this Dholavira in your ancient history, right? Now Dholavira is India's 40th World Heritage Site, right? So what about the location of Dholavira? If we see the location of Dholavira, if this is the map of Gujarat, here is Rann of Kutch. So Dholavira is somewhere here, right? What is Dholavira, or what is the significance of Dholavira? Basically, Dholavira is an Harappan site. Why we call this site as an Harappan site, and what is the objective behind? What is Harappa basically? Harappa means when we went to find when we went to find the data of Indus Valley civilization, Harappa was the first city to be identified. Who was identified? Was the first city was the Harappa. That's why the whole civilization is known as Harappan civilization, right? So Dholavira is an Harappan site. Dholavira is an Harappan site, and another site, that is Lothal. Lothal is also located in Gujarat. So don't get confused between Lothal and Dholavira. Dholavira is situated nearby Rann of Kutch, whereas Lothal is situated nearby Gulf of Khambhat, right? UPSC has an interest in asking the question of based on the location as well, right? So please try to focus that Lothal is situated in the nearby of Gulf of Khambhat, whereas Dholavira is situated near Rann of Kutch, right? So Dholavira is the 40th World Heritage Site. Dholavira is 40th World Heritage Site. Now, who declare any site as World Heritage Site? That is UNESCO. UNESCO declare any site as World Heritage Site. Now, is it the sole right of UNESCO to declare any site, whatever UNESCO wants? Can UNESCO declare any site, whatever the body wants, as a World Heritage Site? So the answer is no. Country has to propose some name. Country has to nominate some reasons, right, which has cultural or natural significance, right? The place should have cultural and natural significance, which should have to be protected in the largest interest of mankind, right? So first of all, Dholavira has been nominated by the Government of India. Then a committee is working under UNESCO, and this committee is World Heritage Committee, right? World Heritage Committee take a meeting, and in that meeting, the committee will decide within the nominated area that which area is is carrying highly cultural or the national or that values or the ethos which should have to be protected in the larger goal of the mankind, right? On that note, World Heritage Committee declare a site as World Heritage Site. So Dholavira is declared as World Heritage Site by the UNESCO, right? Earlier, a few days ago, we have heard about the Rudreshwar temple that is known as Ramappa temple in Telangana state also became a World Heritage Site, right? But now we are listening that Dholavira is the new World Heritage Site. So why there are ample number of World Heritage Site are seeing in the news? Because in the past year, in the last year, due to the COVID crisis, World Heritage Committee could not take their meeting. In the last year, due to COVID, they cannot take their meeting because of this reason. In present year, we are seeing that multiple number of World Heritage sites are coming in the news, right? So now, how many sites are in India now? There are, in a holistic way, if you talk, so there are 40 World Heritage sites now in the world, right? But when we talk about Gujarat, how many sites are in Gujarat? First, Champaner, Rani Ki Vav, Ahmedabad is declared as World Heritage City, and now this one is fourth one which is declared as World Heritage Site. Now, what is the significance of Dholavira? So, if we talk about the significance of Dholavira, so when we read about the town planning of Harappan civilization, we read there that there are town planning was like this. The place where elite class reside. Were placed in upper area, right? In the topography, when we see the elite class was residing in the upper area, that thing was known as citadel, and where the downtrodden section of the society or the general people live was known as lower town. That means that Harappan sites, in the Harappan sites, town planning was classified into two. First, citadel, second, lower town. But Dholavira is only a place where the town planning is not divided between two, but the town planning is divided between three. Right? There's citadel and lower town, and along with citadel and along with lower town, one more classification presents. Right? So, and what next thing is that Dholavira, the city Dholavira is also known for its defensive mechanism, right? In that town settlement, we have seen, the historian has told us that the Dholavira is known for their defensive mechanism. They have planned the city where the defensive mechanism was up to the mark, right? So Dholavira is one of the finest example of Harappan civilization, the Harappan city civilization town planning, right? Here we have a walled city, a cemetery to the west of the city. The city is classified between two. These are the two properties of over there, right? Now, when we talk about the Indus Valley civilization, maximum when you talk about Indus Valley civilization or the Mesopotamian civilization, each and every civilization is developed around a river. Suppose Indus Valley civilization is developed around Indus River, right? So same way, when we talk about the Dholavira, the Dholavira is not, you cannot say that this town is civilized nearby to the river, right? Dholavira is an island of Khadir. Right, Dholavira is an island of Khadir. It is not developed alongside of river. Right now, important news. Next one, Marine Aids to Navigation Bill 2021. Right now, this bill is very important for the point of view of prelims, for prelims point of view as well as for the mains point of view, right? What is the news? Marine Aids to Navigation Bill 2021. Parliament has recently passed this bill. The bill is known as Marine Aids to Navigation Bill 2021. Now, what is happening with this bill? This bill is going to take place of the bill of the Act, Lighthouse Use Act 1927. That is the Colonial Act, right? So this bill is going to take place of this Colonial Act, that is Lighthouse Use Act 1927. That means 90 years old bill, right? So this bill is going to replace the Lighthouse Act 1927, right? Now, first thing, what is the idea behind it and what is the objective behind it, right? So when we look the territory of India, right, somewhere like this way, we have a huge coastline. We have a huge coastline. We have number of major and minor ports, right? We have number of major and minor ports. So when there are number of major and minor ports were there, therefore we can promote our import and export by with the help of the sea and with the help of these coastal areas, or with the help of these minor and major ports, right? So in this way, when we want a ship to come, or when we want a ship to go from that from the coastal area, or from the ports, from the port area, right, we need to guide the ship, right? We need to guide the ship, that the ship has to follow the instruction which was given by the lighthouse. So what is the lighthouse? Lighthouse is the area from which the ship is guided to move from move away from the coastal area or come to the coastal area. So lighthouse is the guiding house, right? So now what is the objective of this bill, right? So when we have so many of major and minor ports, and the ship has to come and has to go from this from this major and minor ports or from this coastal area, now this technology became faded, right? This technology is not so much useful in the present scenario. Why? Now we have radar system, now we have GPS system. In the technological advancement era, when we are guiding the ship with the help of lighthouse, with the help of lighthouse, then the government has seen that there is a problem of traffic like situation in the coastal in the port area, right? If we guide the ship, or if we provide the proper assistance to the ship at the right time, at the right accuracy, then it will come to the port, or it will go away from the port in a very few minutes, right? So the time will not wasted. And second thing, we can use high-end technology to guide the ships, and the collision of the ships will not take place. Other incidents can be avoided by introducing this kind of bill. Now the bill is talking about that we should not use the faded technology or the outdated technology. We will use updated technology to guide the ship, right? So this is overall objective of this bill. Apart from these things, there are various other things also inculcated in this bill, right? What are those? When this bill will become act, it will improve the legal framework, right? It is saying that it will improve the legal framework as well. That means government is going to reform in the bureaucratic structure of that of the whole of the marine system. First thing, which ministry is going to operate this bill, or which ministry is going to supervise the whole idea? Ministry of Shipping, which is at present Ministry of Shipping is known as Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, right? This question can also ask in your prelims examination in the statement wise question, right? Ministry of Shipping is now known as Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways. So Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways will supervise this whole act, right? So government is going to reform in the bureaucratic setup also. So it will improve legal framework, right? Again, vessel traffic services. When we guide the ship in a proper way, in the proper time frame, then it will reduce the vessel traffic system, vessel traffic services, skill development, right? We will provide training certificates to the operators for the aids to navigation in vessel traffic services. That means the skill development. Government is also focusing on the skill development side, auditing and accreditation, right? So basically, any such kind of when any such kind of bill is introduced, this bill or this bill has to be checked by the parameter of outcome budget. What is outcome budget? Suppose what is outcome budget is that suppose you have invested 200,000 crore rupees in a school. Suppose you have made infrastructure of that school. That means you have used the whole money in the infrastructure. So that bill is not outcome budget. Outcome budget is when you have invested 2,000 crore rupees for the development of any education institution. Now the government will check the learning outcome of the students, that how much student has grasped, that how much student has come to has attained that level of accuracy in their education system. That is known as outcome budget, right? So when we talk about the auditing or accreditation in any bill, that means we simply want to check what we have, what kind of outcome we have achieved, right? So there is also a focus on the outcome basis, what outcome we have achieved so far, right? And development of lighthouse as well, right? So development of lighthouse means we can promote all those lighthouses which have some cultural or heritage significance as a tourism spot, right? Now the next, Garib Nawaz Employment Scheme. Recently our Minister of Minority Affairs has told in the parliament that government has provided 371 training centers under Garib Nawaz Employment Scheme to the minority community, right? Again the same thing came to the picture. What is minority? Has the Constitution of India defined the minority? The answer is no. Constitution of India has not defined who is a minority, right? So minority is not defined under Constitution of India. So we classify the minority on the basis of on the basis of religion and on the basis of linguistic basics. So religious basis and on the basis of linguistic minority, we classify between these two. But Indian Constitution has not talk about anything about the minority. Now this, what is the significance of this news? We should have to focus on this Garib Nawaz Employment Scheme. What is this Garib Nawaz Employment Scheme, right? So this scheme was supervised by Ministry of Minority Affairs. What is the first thing, which is the which ministry is supervising? So Ministry of Minority Affairs is supervising this scheme. Second thing, who is the beneficiary? The beneficiary will be the minority community. Minority community is the beneficiary of this scheme. Now third thing, what is the objective behind this scheme? The objective behind this scheme is to provide short-term services to the minority community. I have told you yesterday also that what MNC is, what is the point of MNC? That why they are not providing jobs to the Indian youth? They say that when we deploy any Indian youth in our company, they may be highly qualified, they may be educated, but they do not pursue any skills, right? For the development of skill, we will have to train them, right? So if we have to train any employee, then what is the objective behind hiring them, right? So to make the youth employable, government is planning and working various schemes to develop the skill among the youth, right? So same thing is happening with the minority community. So to develop the skill in the minority community, this scheme has come into place, that is known as Garib Nawaz Employment Scheme. Under this scheme, government will provide skills to the minority community to provide them short-term job-oriented skills, right? Government will provide those skills which can provide short-term job to those minority communities, right? And this program is implemented by the body that is known as Program Implementation Agencies, right? Now, when program implementation agency provide skill to those minority where the government has mandated that PIA, that is program implementation agency, has to hire at least 70% trainees out of total trainees. At least you should have to, matlab PIA has to hire at least 70% of those who got training by the PIA. Why? Because if you do not provide them job, the other minority community will get demotivated and they will never ever participate in these kind of schemes. So to motivate them, so to encourage them, the government is planning to provide at least 70% trainees the job, right? So other minority community can also be encouraged and motivated to join this kind of scheme so that a holistic development can take place, right? And here to motivate them or to encourage them, the monthly stipend for maximum of 3 months and post placement support for maximum of 2 months after getting employment are also being paid, just to encourage them and just to motivate them, right? And there are some more schemes under for the minority communities or to develop the skill in the minorities communities are known as Ustad. Ustad is what? Upgrading the skills and training in traditional arts, craft for development, right? So we have earlier seen that there are some Banjara communities who have distinct kind of culture, a distinct kind of thing to develop, right? They weave in a different way, they spin in a different way, or there are other communities as well who have these kind of distinct or unique kind of traits among them, which can, if these things will be promoted, as a brand, or if these things will be upgraded to the market, if these things come in the market, then the value of those products will increase. So if the value of those products will increase, the job will increase, and when the job will increase, we can empower those sections, those downtrodden section of the society. And when those downtrodden section of the society will motivated, or when the jobs were provided to them, that means we have assured our the security of our India also. We can protect our India from the internal conflict, right? So internal conflict will take place how? When the minority got suppressed. So when minority got suppressed, there is a problem of internal security. You will definitely these things you will learn in the GS paper 3 also, right? So by providing them skill, we will provide them job, and when the job will provided, that means we have developed them, we have provided them skills. Other minority will, when other person or other person of the minority community, when see there are so many other person is growing, that then definitely other will also join them, and the objective of government will get fulfilled, right? So STAR scheme is basically providing the skill and training to their traditional art. That means government will not do anything. Government will not do anything in a new way, or government will not provide them, chalo we will train you in computer, or we will train you in some different way. Government will provide, and government will upgrade their traditional skills, right? Under STAR scheme, government will upgrade them in their traditional skills, right? That is the STAR scheme. Again, Garib Nawaz Kaushal Vikas Yojana, Nai Manzil is basically the scheme for the school dropouts, right? Minority communities, in the minority communities, there are, when we see the data of ASER, the data shows that highest number of school dropouts come from the minority communities, right? So the objective of this scheme, Nai Manzil, is to encourage them to get formal skilling, right? To get at least formal skilling, so that they can be a job, they cannot be a jobless person, right? Again, Nai Roshni is for the minority women, right? Nai Roshni is the scheme for minority women. Begum Hazrat Mahal Girls Scholarship, again this scheme is focusing on minority women or the female section of the society. So these are the news for today. Tomorrow we will meet with some other prelims based news. which is important for the prelims as well for the mains also, right? You can quote these schemes, you can quote or mention these things in your mains answers as well, right? That's all for today, guys, and have a very nice day. Thank you.